Thank you. Traffic, eh? Where would I start? I don't think you need an introduction to traffic. You are all experts by practice. You go through it every day, in and out. You don't need a PhD in engineering to appreciate the complexity of traffic and how much we agonize being stuck in traffic. But let's take an example. Let's try to live a moment. Imagine it's 5 p.m. downtown Toronto. You're leaving school, you're leaving your office, and getting in your car, you're driving. All of a sudden, you realize that it's jam-packed everywhere. It's rush hour. Everybody is emotionally rushing to get home. But in actuality, nobody's rushing anywhere. They are staying there for an hour or two before they get home. You drive, you hit the traffic light, you join a queue of cars. It's red, it's green, you inch forward. It's red again, and green, you inch forward further, and it's red again. Finally, you make it to the front end of the queue. You are at the intersection, and it's green. Your time to go, and you cannot go because it's blocked downstream. There is no space for you to go. And the green is burning. The clock is ticking, and you're holding to the steering wheel. What should I do? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? And if you're wise, you stay, and then it turns red again, and you're about to scream. Somebody, do something about this. If you feel that agony in traffic, you're not the only one. We live in Toronto, the heart of the largest metropolis in Canada. 7 million of us who feel the same way. They all come to the big city. And it's actually, Canada is not unique in this regard. There are so many large cities all over the world. In fact, urbanization is a global phenomenon. 50% of the world's population lives in cities. It's estimated by 2050 in developed countries, 85% of the population would live in urban areas. Why are people flocking together? Why do people come to urban areas like this? The reasons are plenty. You could come for economic opportunities, to job, trade, education, big school like U of T, entertainment, social life. Whatever it is, whatever your reason is, I sum it up in one word: vibrance. You want to live a vibrant life. But with that vibrance comes congestion, a big and growing problem. Perhaps the most pressing part of congestion is the feeling of immobility. You can't move. You would be surprised, it's so funny, it's almost sad, that 100 years ago, motorists rallied in front of Queen's Park asking for speeds to increase to 10 miles per hour. That's 16 kilometers per hour, 100 years ago. Today, a short drive from Queen's Park to the Gardner, 2 kilometers, can take you 30 to 60 minutes during the evening rush hour. That's a speed of 2 to 4 kilometers per hour, far less than what people aspired for 100 years ago. You can literally walk on your hands faster than this. And if you're brave enough or crazy enough to commute across the GTA, it can take you 2 hours each way. That's 4 hours. That's half your working day. So, obviously, congestion is a problem. It's a complex problem. And it's arising, it's like the tail end of so many other problems. It's the complex systems of systems. Like any complex systems, you have components pushing and shoving and colliding and converging and diverging at the same time. What is happening? What is giving rise to that congestion? If you think about it, let's think about you and me, the travelers, on one side of the scale. We have many dimensions of choice. We choose where to work to some extent, where to live to be close to work, how many cars we own, do we drive, do we take transit, do we bike, do we walk? All these, what time do we leave in the morning, what time we come in the evening? All these choice dimensions open the space of choices, and you're not the only one making those choices. There are 7 million of you in the Greater Toronto Area making those choices simultaneously. We have habits. We behave in certain ways that are unique to ourselves. And at the same time, there is a whole set of systems that we interact with, that the road network, the transit system as physical engineering systems. There is also the economic system, the economy. The economy goes up, activities goes up, and trips go up. Economy goes down. You want to solve congestion problems? Collapse the economy. 20% unemployment, there will be no congestion. But this is not what we want. And there's also the government that decides how much infrastructure, what kind of infrastructure to build, how to give people incentives to do certain things, maybe carpool or avoid congestion or whatnot, or disincentives. So all of this interplay together to keep tipping the balance in the right direction, in the wrong direction, and this cycle keeps going on indefinitely. But worst of all, not the fact that congestion is a complex phenomenon, the worst part of all, that it grows exponentially. If you think it has been deteriorating fast over the past few years, if we wait another year or two sitting on our hands, it will get completely out of hand because there's this non-linearity in the increase in travel time and congestion that this is what we're experiencing here in Toronto. Much like a river carrying water, you're looking at a picture of a satellite picture of a river, everything is fine until it overflows. Once it overflows, a little bit of water will cover vast areas of land. Same with roads. If we let them overflow, the congestion will be everywhere in time and space. So what do we do? When we think about solutions, it's not really magic. It's one of three things. Either you build more supply, infrastructure, whether it's transit or roads, and of course, this is good, but very, very expensive. Or you suppress demand, make people travel less, encourage them to carpool, or make them pay toll to reduce the number of cars on the road. We might have to do it, but it is by nature suppressive. People don't like it. The third alternative is to be smart about it, to use technology. Smart technology if you look at an intersection like this, and instead of widening the intersection to make more space for cars and spend $10 million per intersection, you can put smart chips to control traffic at that intersection, get the same benefits for $100,000, less than 2-3% of the budget. And this smart solutions is what we're talking about here. We live in the era of smart X, smart everything. We have cars that fold and turn on a dime. We have a TV that you gesture at with your hand, or even wear it on your hand. We have shoes that talk to the satellite and tell you how many calories you're burning in real time. All of these smart technologies help, but have you thought about what really makes them smart? What is smart? What constitutes smart? If a machine is to be smart, what should it do? One way to look at it is that that machine, whatever it is, the technology, has to adapt to everything around it. I want my house to play soft music when I'm anxious, dim the lights when I want to relax. So the house has to be able to sense what's going on, sense my mood, sense everything around me, and interpret, understand what's going on, learn what to do in certain situations that are pertinent to me, react, and finally optimize itself somehow to give me what I'm looking for. This is what a smart machine is. Now we want to take this and create machines that would help us with our systems, with our complex systems. And when you think about it, what is the smart ever machine known to man? What is it? It's us, the brain. Why look far? Look inside of you. It's the brain. The brain is the smartest machine, relatively small in size, but very capable of dealing with all the complexities of our life. We deal with emotions. We deal with our bodies and sensing our bodies. We deal with learning. Not only learning, but learning about learning. So we need to learn from that and see how the brain functions, cheat from it in a sense, and try to design machines that are able to learn and adapt and self-optimize to help. So the thesis here is simple. Going back to traffic and converging complex systems and intelligence, can we fit a brain, fit the traffic light with a brain to make it able to self-learn, to optimize itself, to reduce congestion and reduce delay? This is where Marlin, a control software developed at the University of Toronto, comes into the picture. Marlin uses the concept of reinforcement learning from artificial intelligence to do exactly this. I'll give you a lay example first. Look at this mouse here, wanting to navigate a maze to get to the cheese. What it does, it interacts with the maze, tries. And every time it gets the cheese, it's a reward. And it learns how to get to it faster and faster and faster each time, reinforcing the maneuvers or the actions that worked well in the past and avoiding what didn't work well in the past. So this process of iterative reinforcement learning is what enables it to develop a map, mental map, what it sees, what it should do immediately right there. So let's take this to the road. We put the software on a small chip, half the size of the palm of my hand, and it looks at traffic through cameras, looks at how much cues are there from the different approaches, and it takes an action every second. Should I continue serving this direction or switch? And if I switch, which other direction should I serve? And keeps doing this all the time, every second. So it takes an action, but it also observes what happens to traffic. Am I improving or deteriorating? If I'm improving, then this is a good thing to tend to repeat and put it in my mental map. If I'm deteriorating the conditions, then that's something to avoid in the future. And through the learning process, what happens, what we found is the traffic light learns to cut down our delay. So let's say, for instance, you're approaching an intersection. If you stop there for 50 seconds, if the intersection, the traffic light was not there, you wouldn't have had to stop for 50 seconds, and therefore, that's pure delay. Can I cut this 50 seconds lower for you? So the Marlin software agent learns and ultimately converges, if you see the wiggly blue line, converges to a level of delay that is 40% better than a conventional traffic light. And if traffic starts to fluctuate due to all reasons of complexity in traffic, then it's also able to converge and perform even better than conventional traffic light, up to 50%. Not only this, now if we're putting a brain on each traffic light and each traffic light is smart on its own, the next question to ask, if they are so smart, can they also learn to play together? Like a team, soccer players. Each one of them is independently smart, able to play. But also through simple eye contact, me as a team player, I have a copy of your brain in mine. We train with each other all the time. So I know how you think. With an eye contact, I know you're kicking the ball over there and I run over there. So that team spirit helps the overall team. Not only I want to score for myself, but I want the team to win. In traffic lights look at each other. If I'm sending you traffic and you're drowning in traffic, then what's the point? Maybe I serve other direction for a few seconds until the situation improves and the objective becomes delay across the network, not at individual intersections. And that uses game theory combined with reinforcement learning. Then you have multiple smart agents that cut down congestion. Without complicating things too much here, this is a network of downtown Toronto near the lake. The thick line at the bottom is the Gardner Expressway. The vertical lines, you'll see Bathurst, Spadina, and so on. This is where the CN Tower, around the CN Tower, up all the way east to the DVP. We put Marlin on these intersections in a virtual environment, not on the road, but in a computer model, and said, okay, learn, tell me, show me what you can do. It came back to teach us. Number one, it shows us each individual intersection how much benefit it would get in terms of reducing delay for motorists. Some intersections get 10%, some intersections get 70%. On average, across this entire network, it's about 40% less delay. Not only this, it also teaches which intersections need to talk to each other, because that's not known a priori. They discovered that. The agents discovered that. So you see the red and square boxes there. These intersections say, the network would benefit the most if you allow us to talk to each other and exchange mental maps and coordinate the decision-making together to reduce delay for everyone. For a municipality, that's gold. Information that tells you which intersections will benefit by how much before you touch anything to prioritize your investment, and which intersections you need to link together. You don't have to spray technology over 2,000 signalized intersections in Toronto. Rather, you can cherry pick the ones that benefit the most. What's next for us? What we're doing this year, we're taking it to the street. We put the system on a chip that you see in the picture here, and this is connected directly to the hardware that controls the traffic light. And it's pre-trained in a virtual environment, and then it gets on the road, does two things: control the traffic light, but at the same time continue to improve itself perpetually. And we're hoping within a year we'll have a pilot deployment at a willing municipality. A few key messages that I want to leave you with. Number one, yes, we love our cities, we love our vibrance, we love the urban environment, but no, we don't love congestion. And I don't want to fool you, I'm not saying that congestion will ever evaporate or disappear, even if we're very smart about it. But it can be managed. Congestion can be managed using technology. However, technology is not everything. It's necessary, but not sufficient. We have to do other things. We have to design sustainable communities. We have to create environments conducive for public transit. Take public transit. Be active, bike, walk, chip in, do our part. So the fact that we can intelligently manage traffic lights is not an invitation to abandon transit and drive. To the contrary, we have to do our part. But when we drive, then Marlin will be there to cut our delay. Finally, I would like to converge everything I said in a simple, cartoonish infographic video. I hope you enjoy it. Here you go.
It's the urban legend, flying through that road with straight greens, but with heavy cross-directional flow, it's still only a legend. You see, basic traffic lights work through one of two simple mechanisms. The first is through pre-established timing plans that regulate green-red cycles, and the second is through pavement loop detectors, which can tell when a car is waiting for a green. With heavy traffic in multiple directions and variable fluctuation, these mechanisms are way too primitive for busy cities. Traffic lights, just like smartphones or any electronics, need to evolve. These days we have cameras and wireless capability of detecting how many cars are passing and when they're passing. Once we've gathered this information live from the traffic stream, the problem just becomes a big math equation where we're just looking for optimal green-red distribution. And like any optimization problem, the answer is intuitively simple. You let a computer take over. This of course requires a fancy control center and direct communication between intersections and that control center. But can we do it without an expensive mega command center? Just recently, computer chips have become small and smart enough to actually fit inside a traffic light. Infused with artificial intelligence, the possibilities open wide. So, meet Marlin, a new breakthrough that gives traffic lights the ability to self-learn. What Marlin does is gather traffic pattern information in real time, and then it learns how to move it all with the least amount of delay. Like any smart technology, Marlin is able to sense, think, learn, and adapt, helping us move more and stop less. But traffic isn't just singular and isolated. Just like a team works together to move a ball around, Marlin has the ability to communicate with other traffic lights in the surrounding area to efficiently collaborate and manage traffic flow. Essentially, Marlin-controlled intersections collectively use game theory to coordinate the most efficient distribution of green and red lights in real time. It puts the intelligence right at the traffic lights, allowing them to anticipate and react just like skilled teammates do. This reduces the need for continuous communication with a command center and the need for skilled human operation at that command center, while also avoiding any single points of failure. Of course, what drivers want are results in numbers, and Marlin has been tested on a virtual computer model of 60 downtown intersections during rush hour in Toronto, Canada. Reductions in delays were seen by up to 40% on average, and total travel times were cut by about 25%. As you can see, Marlin is self-learning, extensible to any number of intersections, requires little human operation, cuts delays in travel times, lowers our carbon footprint, and can ultimately help the hundreds of big cities around the world where congestion is just out of control. And maybe most importantly, how about a little less stress on those roads?